Welcome people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm just a jealous guy. I'm continuing on here with the people in glass houses videos. This is part 3. This will probably conclude Brian Smith, the Filipinos that he is abused, attacked, shamed, defamed, and assassinated the character of. It's a continuation of the video uploaded by expat, exposing expat scammers. Bobby the troll, poor little guy, needs another hug. Now the first one I'm going to do is, it's not a specific attack on this female Filipino, but over a period of time there was snide comments, remarks, but and it's Menina, and when they first started the shrimp pond, they were friends with John and Menina. I don't believe that they were friends, or he wasn't talking to them. Brian wasn't talking to them at the end of the shrimp pond, because John and Menina were helping Linda, and the trolls were going to her channel when they were entertaining them. The reason I do that is I've got an extract from a video here, which is from one of Brian Smith's live streams called Death Threats 2.0, which was uploaded on the 12th of the 11th, 21. Now, in it, someone puts a comment to Brian, and he replies to it. So I'm going to read out that. 24 minutes into the live stream. Well, your neighbour Gary, well, perhaps not your best pal in all the stuck up for Marisol and left a comment on GD's channel. Brian's reply was, okay, you know, while he was letting all comments fly on his channel from all the trolls and all the agreeing with them and putting little hearts next to their comments, while they were trashing me, maybe he should have thought about that kind of the kind of people that he was letting into his life through his YouTube channel. I don't care what Gary does at this point. Moving forward, he has shown his true colours, and I don't care what he does now. I have no intention of giving him the time of day at any time in the future, because he has shown as well the person that he is. He should have thought about what he was doing 3 or 4 months ago, when he was entertaining all those trolls and letting them talk all their crap on his channel without just blocking them out of hand and deleting the comments. You know, what if I had someone that I considered a friend and was trashing them on my channel? I'd immediately take that comment down. I immediately block that person. Did Gary do that? No. He left crappy comments on his own. So guess what? Kick rocks. That's why he and his wife are no longer welcome on our property. That's why I haven't said a word to Elnora in months, and I don't plan to changing that, because this is the kind of crap, you know, I would have told him if he had asked. This is the kind of crazy people that he was allowing into his life, and that he was allowing to make comments on his channel. That he was too stupid to realise it, and yeah, that's on him. So, going by that comment, you could really only say that he was pissed off with Menina and John as well, because they were letting the trolls onto their channel and make comments and replying to them, and even Bing Smith was always on there saying, why are you letting the trolls on this channel? blah, blah, blah. So I would suspect that Brian had a fallout, or at least he wasn't speaking to them. I don't know about them not speaking to him, but among that, there was also, when the shrimp pond started up, he a number of times he went over to John's place when they're doing the well, and easy content for a video, and we filmed the well being dug and everything. But that stopped. They stopped going over to John and Menina's about halfway through, when Menina and John were helping Linda. And that's where I think the problem was, because there were a lot of snide comments from the second half of the shrimp pond failure, and also it was just generally comments about John and Menina helping Linda, and Linda leaving the pond to go to John and Menina's. So I think there are a number of just side comments there that showed that they weren't talking. And also, when John passed, Menina had a number of prayer sessions and that, but you never saw Brian or Maricel, who are dedicated, practicing Christians, going to them, nor did they either go to see how Menina was, check on Menina or anything. There was never any videos on that. And if they did, I'm sure there would have been. So that's why I say they weren't friendly with John and Menina. And that is why I believe when Brian Smith, the last visit to the harvest, I put up the video with the nipper sheets that Linda was making. That's why he mentioned that these sheets are being made for Menina. So including her into the stealing of the nipper for her benefit. So to me, there was just not a straight out attack on Menina, but there were a lot of comments along the way which were attacking her for doing what she was doing, helping Linda. So to me, that's just another person that Brian Smith was attacking. And that final comments about the nipper was just to have a last final dig at Menina as well as Linda. So I'll leave that comment at that. The next person I want to bring up that Brian Smith attacked and shamed was the lady at the hardware store. If you remember the video, Brian Smith was at the hardware store at the front counter with Tade William, and William was talking to the lady at the hardware store, and Brian Smith was filming it from a short distance, a metre or something, metre and a half, and he was filming the lady at the hardware store. She asked him not to film her, to which he kept filming her, and she asked at least another one time not to film her. He said, "Why don't you want me to film you? I'm going to keep filming you. It's nothing." She kept trying to sort of avoid the camera, but he kept following her with the camera. Kept saying to her, "Well, if you don't let me film you, then I'm going to take my business elsewhere." At no time, even after she'd said not to film, did he drop the camera while he was talking to her. It was constantly on this lady, who was quite obviously felt like she was being harassed. She was embarrassed. And he was basically shaming her to let him film. As soon as she said stop filming, he should have stopped filming. But as per usual, no one says no to Brian Smith, and he forced his himself upon her to keep filming. You know, there's some comments about things like that Brian Smith does. And oh, he's just having a bad day. Well, no, he wasn't just having a bad day, because he filmed it, he went home, he edited it, and he uploaded it. So he was actually proud of what he was doing. He was proud that he'd harassed that lady, and he was proud that he'd made it and belittled her and shamed her. Now, that if he'd had a bad day, he would have on the way home gone, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or editing it, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done it. No, he was proud. He was proud of what he'd done, and he uploaded it onto his channel. So I haven't got the exact date that was or anything, but people that know or have been following the Brian Smith would remember that, and so I just haven't had time to go back. It's a long way and a lot of work to go find a certain piece in a video. So that's the hardware store lady. So there's been Menina and the hardware store lady on top of the already shown videos of Alnora and Linda. So even Consing doesn't get away from Brian's attacks. Now, there's a couple of videos I'm going to mention here, and this was, Brian he'd had his fallout with Alnora and Gary. He wasn't speaking to them, and this is after Consing had left his employment and gone to work for Alnora, which would have really pissed Brian off, but not even Consing escaped his attacks for going and working for Alnora. And the first video I'm going to read some, it's Brian Smith's words. It's a transcript from a video. That's Brian Smith's words, and it's a live stream. And it was 26th of July 2021. So 26th of July 2021. Just remember that date. Mike and Bonnie had someone make charcoal. You may want to see if you can get them to help you. So someone's suggested that Mike and Bonnie's got someone to do charcoal, and Brian was looking for someone. Brian's reply was, yeah, we might do that. I'm a little perturbed at Consing at the moment. When we were doing all that major clearing down there and all that wood was being stacked, we were inquiring about and waiting for that really old guy had done the charcoal before. We were waiting for him to make the charcoal, and since Consing knows where and how to get hold of the old guy, we were going through her to ask him to do it. And once a week we'd ask, hey, is the old guy available? And the story was always, he's harvesting rice, he's working, harvesting rice, he doesn't have time. And this went on for a couple of months, 3 months. Consing, constantly asking Consing, is the old guy available yet? And we even saw him walking on the road a couple of times. He was working with the rice. Come to find out, Consing's husband knew how to make charcoal, and he made a charcoal pit for Alnora, our neighbour. And all that time she knew we were looking for someone to do this, to make charcoal for us. Her husband knew how to do it, but she never said anything. Now, our wood is really dry, and everyone is saying that because the wood's dry, you can't make charcoal with it. I don't think that's correct, But again, I know very little about the process. Maybe the way they do it here, it has to be freshly cut wood. Maybe the way they do it here, it gets away from them if it's dry. I don't know, but regardless, I'm not real happy with consing at the moment. So, 2 points in there. It's the old man that done charcoal for them before, and there's only one old man. It's like a 90-year-old bloke that comes and does the charcoal. It's when she was working for Elnora, because he says Consing's husband went up and did a wood pit for Elnora, which would have really pissed him off even more. And he mentions that Consing knew where and how to get hold of this old guy, and they left it up to her to contact him. So now he's saying, what, Consing's lazy, Consing didn't want to help them out, she deliberately, put them off, whatever, lied, kept lying to them. So basically calling her a liar. And they saw the old man walking down the road. Well, if you were trying to get hold of the old man and he saw him walking down the road, wouldn't you go and approach him? Wouldn't you get Maricel or William or Gina to go and approach him to ask him about making some charcoal? So I'm sure one of them would have been able to catch up with the 90-year-old man walking down the street. But interestingly enough, so remember the date of this, 26th of July 2021 on this live stream. So the second one I'm going to read from is another video Brian put up. This was in 2018. I think it was 8th of November 2018, and it's about it's actually taken from the block where Elnora was later purchased, and it was the 8th of November 2018. So 2018 to 2021, July 2021, so you're looking at two and a half years earlier. And Brian Smith had Leto, the real estate agent, and they were just looking at these, showing off these blocks, and they were for sale, and Brian Smith was panning his camera around. He was at a higher altitude, which was where Elnora purchased, and during this video, now Brian Smith says, "Now this is the house. I don't know if I didn't film going in, but that's the house where the old man lives who did the charcoal for us." So he didn't film the house going in, so he knows where the house is. And this is the house of the old man that does the charcoal. Now remember, this is over 2 years prior to him saying Consing knew where this guy lives and how to get hold of him, and they were leaving it up to her. Now, Brian knew exactly where he lived because he filmed it 2.5 years before. There's only one charcoal man, and as he says, the charcoal man, where the old man lives, who did the charcoal for us. And there was only one old man that did charcoal for them. It's the same old man they were chasing to do it again. And so I didn't film going in, but that's the house right there of the charcoal man. And clear view of where Brian Smith was filming. Yeah, I love this a little lot. I think it's almost as big as ours, but from where I'm standing right here, the metal roof you see right there, that's the thatched roof and the metal roof, and that's the roof of the piggery and our chicken coop. I don't think you can see the corn patch from here, but it's not that far away. Now, if you remember at that time, the rice fields and that they grew corn in, wasn't very successful, but they did grow a little bit of corn, and they were sitting on the front veranda getting all the cobs and putting them in a pile, and there was a little pile of corn on the front veranda of their house. Now, patch but it's not far away. We're only maybe 100 yards from the boundary of our property. Now that would be, I guess, you would call almost an adjacent lot. And he's talking about the old man's house. So he's only 100 metres from his boundary. So the house, 100 feet, I think he says, 100 yards from the boundary. So about 100 metres. So it's 100 metres from his boundary, and the old charcoal man's pretty much adjacent to him. So it's not far away, and he knew where the charcoal man lived. So why didn't he go and see the old man? But he'd rather bag out Consing for not chasing him up. They almost call that adjacent lot. The plateau, that's where we're always filming. You can see where the land has been disturbed right back there. So that's the plateau right on the other side of those trees. So why did Brian Smith make those comments? Brian Smith made those comments because he was pissed off with Consing, and he wanted to shame her and abuse her because she had gone to work with Elnora. And what even pissed him off even more was that Consing was going to get someone to make charcoal for him, but her husband actually knew how to make charcoal, but she didn't mention that to him, so he says. But maybe she did, and he didn't want to pay what they wanted. So, but anyway, he says she didn't mention it, and but he must have been really pissed off, and that's why he's attacked Consing on this. Yes, it's the same Consing that now works for Brian. He bagged her out big time and shamed her and abused her because she had left him and gone to work for Elnora. Now, so that's just another person that Brian Smith has attacked, another Filipino. So this video was Menina, the hardware lady, and Consing. So they're starting to pile up a little bit. Linda, Elnora, Consing, hardware lady, Menina, and he bags out exposing expats for attacking Gina and William. But on top of that, remember his best buddy bagged out Gina and William, abused them, and but he's still his bestie, but also said quite disgusting things about Brian's son's mother, and but he's still his bestie, so he didn't really care about what those comments were. So anyway, that's enough for this video for now. There'll be more, and so just subscribe, hit the notification button, thumbs up, thumbs down, and share it if you like. Thank you. Hang in there for the next one. Thank you.